The night shift at the Mountain View Radio Observatory was usually quiet. Tom Miller had spent the last 15 years listening to the static of space, hoping to hear something, anything, that would prove humanity wasn't alone. At 55 years old, with gray hair and weather-worn features, he had become something of a joke among his younger colleagues. They called him Starman behind his back, but he didn't mind. On this particular night in 2157, as rain tapped gently against the observatory's dome, Tom was doing his usual routine. He adjusted his headphones, sipped his coffee, and watched the readings from deep space scroll across his screen. The numbers were normal, just like every other night for the past 15 years. Until they weren't. At first, Tom thought he was dreaming. The pattern that appeared on his screen was too perfect, too regular. Static doesn't make patterns like that. His hand shook as he ran the standard checks, making sure his equipment wasn't malfunctioning. "This can't be right," he muttered, but the pattern remained. It was a sequence of prime numbers, followed by what looked like a response to humanity's first digital message sent to space decades ago. Tom reached for the red phone, the one they were only supposed to use in case of an actual discovery. He had never touched it before. As he dialed, his heart pounded so hard he could barely hear the ringtone. Within an hour, the small observatory was crowded with government officials and scientists. They verified Tom's discovery again and again, each time coming to the same conclusion. This was a real alien signal, and it was coming from somewhere much closer than anyone had expected. The next morning, as the sun rose over the mountains, something else appeared in the sky. It started as a small light, growing larger until it became clear this was no natural phenomenon. A ship, sleek and silver, descended through the clouds with impossible grace. It landed in an empty field near the observatory, causing no damage, making no sound. The world watched through hastily assembled news feeds as a door opened in the ship's smooth surface. The being that emerged looked almost like flowing water given form, its blue-tinted body shifting and moving as it walked. It raised what appeared to be an arm in greeting. "People of Earth," it spoke in perfect English, its voice resonating from somewhere within its fluid form. "I am Blue, representative of the Galactic Council. We have been watching, and the time has come to talk." The military had their guns raised, but President Wilson, who had arrived just minutes before, stepped forward. "We welcome you to Earth," she said, her voice steady despite the historic weight of the moment. Blue's form rippled in what might have been amusement. "Your courage is noted, but unexpected. Most species react with far more fear when we reveal ourselves. Humans are curious by nature," President Wilson replied. "We've been looking for you for a very long time." "Yes," Blue said, its tone growing serious. "We know. That is part of why I am here. Your species' rapid advancement has not gone unnoticed, and not all who have noticed are as peaceful as the Council." Tom, who had been watching from the observatory steps, felt a chill run down his spine. After 15 years of searching for alien life, he was suddenly wishing he hadn't found it. "There are forces in this galaxy," Blue continued, "that see humanity as a threat. Your species has accomplished in centuries what took others millennia. Your adaptability, your creativity, your determination. These traits make you unique, and uniqueness, to some, is dangerous." President Wilson straightened her back. "Are you here to warn us?" "Yes." Blue's form pulsed with urgency, "but also to help prepare you. The harvesters are coming, and Earth must be ready. Your discovery of us wasn't by chance. We let you find us because time is running out. You have 3 years, maybe less." Tom looked up at the morning sky, still beautiful and blue, still looking like it always had. But now he knew. Everything was about to change. Humanity had just become part of something much bigger and much more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The search for alien life was over. The fight for human survival was about to begin. The world changed quickly after Blue's arrival. Within a week, the United Nations called an emergency session, and Blue stood before representatives from every nation. The alien's fluid form shifted gently as it moved across the stage, drawing all eyes to its ethereal presence. "Your species is unique," Blue began, its voice echoing through the silent chamber. "In all our years of watching other civilizations, we have never seen anything quite like humans." On the main screen behind Blue, images appeared showing various alien species and their achievements. Most species take millions of years to specialize. The builders focused only on architecture, taking 50,000 years to master it. The thinkers developed pure mathematics over 1,000,000 years. But humans, Blue's form rippled with what seemed like amazement. "You went from horse-drawn carriages to space rockets in less than a century. From simple phones to quantum computers in mere decades. You master multiple fields at once, adapt to new situations instantly, and solve problems in ways we never imagined possible." In the audience, Tom sat next to President Wilson, still trying to process how his quiet life at the observatory had led to this moment. He noticed how Blue's words weren't just praise. There was worry in that strange voice. The harvesters noticed this too. Blue continued, its color darkening slightly. "They are ancient machine intelligences that believe in controlled, predictable evolution. They watch young species, allowing them to develop along expected paths. But humans," Blue paused, its form swirling with concern. "Humans are chaos to them." The room fell silent as images of the harvesters appeared on screen. Massive, geometric ships that seemed to devour everything in their path. The footage showed them destroying entire worlds, leaving nothing but empty husks behind. "They fear what they cannot predict," Blue explained. "And nothing about human development follows their models. Where other species took predictable paths, humans jumped forward in random bursts of innovation. Where others specialized, humans became adaptable at everything." President Wilson stood up. "You mentioned 3 years. What exactly happens then?" Blue's form condensed, becoming smaller and darker. "The harvesters will come to eliminate the anomaly. You." They'd done it before to other species that developed too differently. But none of those species had your potential. The screen changed to show Earth's rapid technological progress. "In just the last week since first contact, your scientists have already begun understanding and improving upon some of our basic shared technologies. It took other species decades to do what you've done in days." Tom raised his hand, surprising himself with his courage. "If they're so powerful, how can we possibly fight them?" Blue moved closer to him, its form brightening slightly. "Because you have something they don't understand. Human unpredictability. The Council will provide you with basic defensive technology. But knowing humans, you'll probably turn it into something we never imagined possible." The UN Secretary-General stepped forward. "What you're saying is that humanity's greatest strength is our chaos, our unpredictability." "Exactly," Blue replied. "The harvesters base everything on logic and patterns. But humans, you make art for no logical reason. You take risks that make no mathematical sense. You try things that should fail, yet somehow you make them work. That is your power." As the meeting ended, Tom watched the world leaders leaving with determined faces. 3 years to prepare for an alien invasion seemed impossible, but then again, impossible was what humans did best. Blue approached him one last time. "The next 3 years will change everything, Tom. The universe is about to learn why we've been watching Earth so carefully. The species that can turn chaos into progress. That's what you are. The harvesters aren't ready for what humans can do." Tom looked at the images of the harvester ships still frozen on the screen. They were terrifying, yes, but for the first time since this all began, he felt something else too: hope. If being unpredictable was humanity's strength, then maybe they had a chance after all. 2 months after Blue's warning, the old military base in Nevada had transformed into Earth's first interstellar defense center. Admiral Kate Wood stood at the window of her new office, watching teams of scientists and engineers rushing between buildings. The sight still amazed her: Russians working alongside Americans, Chinese engineers collaborating with Europeans, former enemies now united against a common threat. Admiral James Parker, her second-in-command, entered the room carrying a tablet. "You need to see this." On the screen was a video from one of their test facilities. The Council had provided them with basic shield technology, but the human engineers had done something unexpected. Instead of using it as designed, they had combined it with Earth's old missile defense systems. The result was remarkable. A hybrid weapon that could punch through defenses that Blue had claimed were impenetrable. "How did they manage that?" Kate asked, leaning closer to the screen. James smiled. "Apparently, someone remembered old World War II submarine tactics. They modified the shields to create bubble cavitation, like how submarines used to deal with depth charges. The Council's engineers said it was impossible, but they weren't human engineers," Kate finished, shaking her head in amazement. Outside her window, a massive hangar door opened, revealing humanity's first true starship. It wasn't sleek and beautiful like the Council's ships. It was bulky, covered in odd angles, and looked like it had been built by committee, which it had. But it worked, and it worked better than anyone had expected. Tom, who had become something of a liaison between humans and the Council, walked into the office. He looked different now, more confident, despite the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. "Blue just finished inspecting the new developments," he said, unable to hide his grin. "I think we actually managed to surprise them again." "What did they say?" Kate asked, turning from the window. "They said we're doing things wrong, but in a good way. Apparently, we're supposed to take decades to understand their basic technology before trying to improve it. Instead, we're just taking it apart and rebuilding it our way." James laughed. "Did you tell them about the cafeteria incident?" Tom nodded. "Blue couldn't believe that one of our biggest breakthroughs in shield harmonics came from a cook who used to tune guitars. Said it was delightfully irrational." Kate walked to the large map on her wall. It showed Earth's new defense grid, a combination of ground stations, orbital platforms, and lunar bases. 3 months ago, it would have seemed like science fiction. Now it was reality, built by humans who refused to follow the normal rules of technological development. The Council said it should take 5 years to build a basic planetary defense system, Kate said, touching the map. "We did it in 2 months. Not because we're smarter, but because we're too stubborn to know what's supposed to be impossible." An alarm beeped on James's tablet. "The satellite network just picked up something," he said, his voice turning serious. "Looks like the harvesters are testing our range. Small scout ship, just at the edge of the solar system." Kate straightened her uniform. This was what they had been preparing for. Show them what humans can do. Fire up the guitar-tuned shields and that impossible weapon of ours. Let's give them something to think about. As alarms began to sound across the base, Kate watched her people running to their stations. There was no panic, no fear, just determined humans doing what they did best. The impossible. "You know," Tom said quietly, "Blue told me something interesting yesterday. Said that in all their records, no species has ever united this quickly against a threat. Usually takes them centuries of failed attempts." Kate smiled. "Well, we've only got 3 years. We don't have time for failed attempts. That's the human way. When we need to do something, we just do it." The first test was about to begin. Humanity was ready to show the universe exactly what impossible meant to them. They came at dawn. The harvester ships appeared like dark stars against the morning sky, their massive forms blocking out the sun. There were 7 of them, each bigger than the largest city on Earth. In the Nevada Command Center, Admiral Kate watched them approach on the main screen. "They're earlier than we expected," James said, his hands flying over the control panel. 2 years early." "Of course they are," Kate replied, her voice steady. "They probably thought catching us off guard would work better." She pressed the global alert button. "All stations, this is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Around the world, defense stations hummed to life. The strange hybrid weapons, part alien technology, part human innovation, powered up. In orbit, Earth's hastily built fleet of ships moved into position. They weren't pretty, but they were ready. Tom stood at his new station, monitoring communications. Blue is asking permission to help, he reported. The Council wants to send ships. Kate shook her head. Tell them no. We need to show the harvesters what humans can do on our own. The first attack came fast. Energy beams that could have melted mountains. But they hit the new shields, the ones modified using guitar harmonics, and something unexpected happened. The shields didn't just block the attacks. They reflected them back, amplified by the same principles that make music sound better in a concert hall. It's working, James shouted, excitement breaking through his professional calm. The crazy ideas actually work. The harvesters paused, clearly surprised by the defense. Their next attack was different. Waves of smaller ships, probably expecting to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer numbers. But humanity had been playing video games about alien invasions for a century, and someone had thought to program those old gaming strategies into the defense grid. Deploy the swarm defense, Kate ordered, allowing herself a small smile. The harvesters were about to learn about another human invention, computer gaming. Thousands of small, unmanned drones launched from hidden bases around the world. They moved in patterns that made no logical sense, because they were based on how teenagers played space combat games. The harvester ships, programmed for logical battle patterns, couldn't predict where the human drones would go. Their ships are falling back, Tom reported. They're confused. Blue says their battle computers can't understand our attack patterns. Tell Blue to watch closely, Kate said. It's time for the big surprise. She pressed a red button on her console, activating humanity's secret weapon. Deep under the ocean, huge speakers began playing a specific musical note, one that human scientists had discovered could interfere with the harvesters' quantum communications. It was based on the same principle as the opera singer who could break a glass with their voice. The effect was immediate. The harvester fleet's perfect formation broke apart as their ships lost coordination. Their attacks became disorganized, predictable. Now, Kate ordered. All ships, attack pattern Delta. Earth's ships moved in, using their odd combinations of technologies in ways the harvesters couldn't have predicted. Old-style missiles carried new alien warheads. Simple radio waves were amplified by quantum fields. Everything humanity had learned in centuries of warfare was being used in ways no other species had ever considered. The battle lasted 3 hours. When it ended, the harvester ships were retreating, their perfect geometric forms now scared and damaged. For the first time in their ancient history, they had failed to harvest a world. In the command center, the celebration was quiet, professional. They all knew this was just the beginning. Send a message to the harvesters, Kate ordered. Keep it simple. Tom nodded and typed. Earth is protected. Humanity stands united. Come back at your own risk. As the message went out, Blue's form appeared on the main screen. Impossible, the alien said, but its tone was full of joy. You did the impossible. No, Kate replied, looking at her tired but proud crew. We just did it the human way. The universe better get ready. Because we're just getting started. 1 month after Earth's successful defense, Admiral Kate stood on the bridge of the Star Jumper, humanity's first proper warship. The vessel looked nothing like the elegant council ships or the geometric harvester craft. Instead, it resembled a combination of a submarine, an aircraft carrier, and something from an old science fiction movie. Main systems check complete, James reported from his station. All our weird ideas are working perfectly. The ship was a testament to human creativity. When the Council said artificial gravity was the only way to operate in space, human engineers remembered old centrifuge designs. When they were told quantum shields needed complex computers, someone suggested using simple water as a radiation barrier, just like Earth's oceans had protected sea life for millions of years. Mark Wilson, A former game theorist who now led the strategy team approached Kate with a tablet. "We found something interesting in the data from the last battle," he said. "Lisa, show them what you discovered." Lisa Brown, the quantum physicist who had been studying harvester technology, brought up a holographic display. "It's so simple, we almost missed it," she said. "The harvesters are vulnerable to the most basic laws of physics, ones they've forgotten about because they're too advanced." The display showed a harvester ship's energy pattern. "See this?" Lisa pointed to a wave pattern. "They're so focused on quantum mechanics, they forgot about simple wave interference, like when two ocean waves cancel each other out." "Can we use that?" Kate asked, looking at the complex display. Mark grinned. "We already have. Remember those old physics experiments where you make patterns with two speakers? We've built something similar, but bigger, much bigger." The Star Jumper carried what they called the Wave Maker, a massive array of simple speakers modified with alien tech. It didn't look impressive, but it could create waves that would disrupt any harvester system it touched. "Fleet is in position," James announced, "ready to jump to the harvester base when you give the word." Kate looked at her crew. Humans had learned to use the Council's faster-than-light technology in weeks instead of years, mostly because someone noticed it worked like the warp drive from old TV shows. They had studied those shows for ideas that might actually work. "All ships, prepare for jump," Kate ordered. "Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth now. We're showing the galaxy what humans can do." The jump was smooth, another human improvement. They appeared near a massive harvester space station, a perfect geometric shape that looked like a giant crystal in space. "They're powering up their weapons," James reported, "but they're following the same patterns as before." "Launch the Wave Maker," Kate commanded. "Let's show them some basic physics." The device activated, sending out waves of energy that seemed simple compared to the harvester's quantum weapons. But when the waves hit their ships, something remarkable happened. The harvester's advanced shields, designed to stop the most powerful quantum attacks, had no defense against basic wave interference. "It's working," Lisa exclaimed. "Their systems are shutting down." They never expected anyone to use something this simple. The harvester ships began to drift, their complex systems disrupted by principles taught in high school physics classes. Earth's fleet moved in, using their hybrid weapons to disable rather than destroy. "Send the message," Kate ordered. Tom's voice carried across all frequencies. "This is humanity's warning. We didn't want this fight, but we will finish it. Your quantum computers might be advanced, but we still remember the simple things you've forgotten. Retreat from human space, or next time we won't be so gentle." As the harvester station went dark, Blue's image appeared on the main screen. "You continue to amaze us," the alien said. "No species has ever defeated a harvester base before, let alone with such primitive methods." Kate smiled. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. The harvesters forgot the basics while chasing advancement. But humans, we keep everything that works, old or new. That's our strength." The victory was more than just a military success. It was proof that humanity's unique approach to problems could change the galaxy forever. Simple solutions could still overcome advanced problems, and humans were masters at finding those solutions. The council chamber was unlike anything humans had seen before, a vast space station where representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered. Admiral Kate stood before them, the first human ever invited to speak here. Behind her, through massive windows, she could see ships from dozens of species arriving. 3 months ago, humans defeated a harvester base with technology that most would consider primitive, she began. Today, we're here to share what we learned. The chamber erupted in excited whispers. Blue, now Earth's official friend in the Council, moved forward. Many species have asked how humans achieved the impossible. They want to know your secrets. Kate nodded to James, who activated a hologram showing their wavemaker device. This is no secret, she said. It's basic physics, something so simple that most advanced species forgot about it. And that's what we want to talk about today. Images appeared showing how Earth combined old and new technologies. Humans never throw away good ideas just because they're old, Kate explained. We keep everything that works, and we mix it in new ways. A representative from a highly advanced species spoke up. But our quantum computers say your methods should fail. They defy all logical models. Tom, who now served as Earth's science advisor, stepped forward. That's exactly the point. You're so focused on advanced solutions that you've forgotten the basic ones. It's like trying to crack a nut with a laser when a simple nutcracker would work better. The chamber filled with murmurs as other species began to understand. Mark and Lisa joined the presentation, showing how Earth's primitive solutions could work for everyone. The harvesters control through fear and complex technology, Mark explained. But what if we all remembered the simple solutions they've forgotten? Reports began coming in from across the galaxy. Other species were trying Earth's methods, combining their old technologies with new ones. The harvesters' perfect predictions began to fail everywhere. A small, insect-like alien approached the human team. My people remembered our ancient sonic weapons. It clicked excitedly. Combined with modern shields, they pierced harvester defenses, just like your wavemaker. More species came forward, each sharing stories of rediscovering their own forgotten technologies. The builders, who had focused only on advanced materials, remembered their ancient stoneworking techniques. Combined with modern tools, they created structures the harvesters couldn't analyze. This is more than just fighting back, Blue observed, its form glowing brightly. You humans have started a revolution in thinking. You've taught the galaxy to remember its roots. The Council's main screen lit up with urgent news. Across the galaxy, species were successfully resisting the harvesters, not through superior technology, but through unpredictable combinations of old and new, simple and complex. The harvesters are retreating from 16 systems, James reported, reading the updates. Their predictive models are failing everywhere. They can't understand what's happening. Kate smiled. Of course they can't. They're looking for advanced patterns, but we're all using basic principles they ignored. Sometimes, the old ways are the best ways. The council chamber, usually a place of formal procedure, erupted in celebration. Species that had feared the harvesters for millennia were discovering they had the power to fight back all along. They just needed humans to remind them. Today marks a new era, Blue announced to the chamber. Humanity has taught us that true advancement doesn't mean abandoning our past. It means building upon it in ways our enemies could never predict. As Kate watched the celebrations, she realized this was humanity's greatest victory. Not defeating the harvesters in battle, but showing the galaxy a new way to think about progress. The simple solution had started a revolution that would change everything. You know, Tom said quietly, when I first discovered that alien signal, I never imagined it would lead to this. That's the human way, Kate replied. We never know where our ideas will lead. And that's exactly why they work. 20 years had passed since humanity's first contact with the Council. Tom sat in his old chair at the Mountain View Observatory, now more of a museum than a working facility. His hair had turned completely white, but his eyes still held the same curiosity that had helped him discover that first alien signal. Ready for the ceremony? Admiral Kate asked, walking in. She had aged too, but still wore her uniform with pride. The medals on her chest told the story of humanity's journey to the stars. Just wanted to visit this old place one more time, Tom replied, running his hand over the familiar console. Hard to believe it all started here. The main screen lit up, showing live feeds from across the galaxy. The harvesters' last stronghold had fallen 3 days ago, not to advanced weapons, but to a combination of simple technologies working together in ways their logical minds couldn't handle. The Council is waiting, James said from the doorway. He had retired from active service, but still served as Earth's military advisor. They're about to make it official. Tom stood slowly, taking one last look around. You know, I keep thinking about what Blue told us that first day, about how being unpredictable was our strength. Who could have predicted this? They took a small shuttle to the new council headquarters, now located in Earth orbit. The massive station combined architectural styles from 100 worlds, including the simple but effective designs humans had contributed. In the Grand Chamber, representatives from every known species had gathered. Even some former harvester worlds were there. Their machine intelligences had evolved, learning to appreciate the chaos and creativity they once feared. Blue, now the council's head speaker, called for attention. Its fluid form had become familiar to humans over the years, almost like an old friend. 20 years ago, Blue began. A simple radio operator on a small planet heard a signal that would change the universe. Today, we mark not just the end of the harvester threat, but the beginning of a new age of cooperation and innovation. The main screen showed images from across the galaxy, worlds combining their ancient knowledge with new ideas, species working together in ways never thought possible, and at the center of it all, Earth. Humanity taught us all a valuable lesson. Blue continued. True advancement doesn't come from rejecting the past or following logical paths. It comes from embracing all knowledge, old and new, and finding creative ways to use it. Lisa and Mark, now leaders in the galactic scientific community, stepped forward with their latest invention, a device that combined quantum computing with ancient meditation techniques to achieve faster-than-light communication. It was exactly the kind of impossible combination that had become humanity's trademark. Therefore, Blue announced, the Council has made a historic decision. Earth will become the new center for galactic innovation, and humanity will lead our efforts to explore the unknown regions of space. Their appointment to the High Council is unanimous. Tom was called forward to accept Earth's position on the Council. As he walked up, he remembered that rainy night when he first heard the alien signal. He had been searching for proof that humanity wasn't alone. Now, they were helping lead a united galaxy. We accept this honor, Tom said, his voice carrying across the chamber, not because we're the most advanced, but because we've learned that every piece of knowledge, no matter how simple or old, has value. The universe is full of wonders we haven't imagined yet, and together, we'll find them. The chamber erupted in celebration. On screens across the galaxy, billions of beings from thousands of worlds watched as humanity took its place among the stars. You know what the best part is, Kate said quietly to Tom. We did it without changing who we are. We didn't have to become super advanced or logical. We just had to be human. As the celebrations continued, new reports came in of discoveries in unexplored space. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries waiting to be solved. And now, with humanity showing the way, every species was ready to face those mysteries with both wisdom and wonder, combining the best of old and new. The species that shook the universe had found its true purpose, not just surviving among the stars, but teaching others to see the magic in mixing the simple with the advanced, the old with the new, the logical with the creative. The human way had become the galaxy's way, and the universe would never be the same.